Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday night's paranormal question day. Sorry, we'll be right back right after the short intro.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Paranormal Question of the Day. We do live podcasts with live guests, live paranormal investigations as well. We do product reviews, so sit back, enjoy the channel, get popcorn, get a soda, and I'll see you soon.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday night's paranormal question of the day. Tonight's guest, we have Small Town Paranormal. We have Wayne, John, and Abby. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you
for having us.
Absolutely. You guys have done a lot of work recently. I believe together you've been about 3 years, correct?
Yeah, almost 3.
Okay. So you've been around for a while, which is good. And can't no longer call you greenhorns or rookies. We'll take it one at a time here. So Wayne, what got you into the paranormal, and did you have a paranormal experience that really got you thinking about things?
Yeah, so I still work as a custodian, but I used to work for a college in Mequon, Concordia. And there were rumors like that the kids would always say it was haunted and stuff like that by like a nun. The big thing was like Sister Six Toes was her name, and she was a nun that just haunted the place or something. And I cleaned like by the cadaver labs, so all the bodies were down there and stuff. So I went down there, and there was like the cadaver lab on the left side, and on the right side there was a lecture hall. So I was second shift, so I'm there till like 11, and I never liked going down that hallway because I always thought it was so creepy. So I went down there one night because I had to clean it. I went into the lecture hall, and all of a sudden I started getting dizzy and felt like I was gonna like faint or like pass out. And I'm like, oh, my blood sugar is low. No big deal. And then all of a sudden it came to. I was normal, like nothing happened. Started wiping the board down, and all of a sudden this screen comes out of the ceiling all by itself. And my first instinct was I had the eraser still in my hand, and I ran out the door. And I talked to my buddy in IT, and I said, okay, I don't know if I stepped on a remote, but does that usually come out of the ceiling by itself? He said, no, there's no remote, it's all on the computer. And I'm like, okay, well, no way. So I went back and looked. No remote, nothing on the floor. I'm like, okay, sure as shit, it was on the computer. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask. They had public safety, so I went over to public safety, and I said, hey, can you go back to this time or whatever and just see if what do you see or whatever? And they're like, yep. And they saw me like, so they went back, they're like, nothing, and then it goes black, like the screen goes black on their end, and you just see me running out of the out of the room with the eraser. And I never cleaned down there by myself again.
Wow.
Yeah. So that got me into it. I kind of was more curious after that, and
that was your very first. That was your very first experience.
Yeah.
Never had anything at your house or anything?
Nothing at my house.
Not everyone's house is like your house, John.
Hey. We'll get there.
Wow. That's interesting how that it went black, and it's like, so obviously that's paranormal. They don't want to see you seeing anything like that happen, because you know how files get wiped,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool how to start that all out.
Yeah.
Man, interesting. Abby, same question for you. So what got you in the paranormal field, and what was your first paranormal experience?
So I was really kind of interested in some way ever since I was younger. My mom, like, really firmly believes in paranormal and anything kind of similar to that. So I always kind of had that from her. I'd say one of the very first ones I had is I was at my grandma's house, and my grandfather had passed away not too long ago. Um, and they have kind of a living room and then a sitting room on the other side. And we're sitting in the living room, and I'm in a chair, and out of the corner of my eye in the other room, I see something go by, and I'm kind of like, huh? And I look, and what I had seen was like someone go by in like a white hospital gown. And my grandfather had been, um, he had passed away in a hospital, um, from lung cancer. So it was kind of like, did I just see him? Did that just happen? Um, so there's just been like little things here and there that like lead up where there's been similar experiences like that where I'm like, well, I can't explain that one.
Right. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's, you've always heard of people when they're on their deathbed, like they're grabbing for something, and you
Right.
always hear that a lot, but man, passed away, then all of a sudden seen them right away.
Mhm.
That's interesting. And then from there, you found Wayne, and then started investigating. I take it.
Yeah, from there he was like, well, we always watch the shows. I feel like we should finally do it. And I was like, okay. And here we are
little,
now.
little hesitant there.
He's like, okay. I'm like, we're not gonna, just so you're clear, like, we're not gonna have our own show. This is just gonna be something we do. And he's like, well, I'm fine with that. I'm like, okay.
Now we have a YouTube.
Well, sometimes YouTube does better than regular shows on TV, though, because that's where a lot of things are going. Is all streaming nowadays. So you're not too far off to having stuff, because you guys put out really good stuff,
Thank
and
you.
it's fun to watch it, and you get people thinking what's going on, and you guys do a good job of it. So
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.
absolutely. So John, you're the last to go here. What is your like I said, what got you into the paranormal, and what was your first paranormal experience?
I've always believed in like the paranormal. Um, I grew up in a like the house that I grew up in is one of the oldest like houses in my area, and my friends and family have experienced like shadow figures in my house and noises. And my brother actually, he's encountered like more severe stuff than I have. Um, but like my first time that got me thinking was, I went to the bathroom and tried to I went and like to turn the sink on, and it turned on for me. Like the whole handle just like shifted. Um, that was the first like paranormal, um, thing that's ever happened to me. And then, um, yeah, my friend has seen like a little girl in the sunroom at my house, just standing there looking at him through the window. But yeah, I've never seen anything like to that extent that at my house. But I don't know, it's interesting. Um, and then Wayne kind of was the one that I've known Wayne since like second, third grade, and he told me about stuff that he's been experiencing at his work, and we just decided one night to go investigate, and kind of just grew from there. So,
Oh,
uh,
it's kind of a good heartwarming story here with all three of you guys getting together. So it's not too often that you hear that all three of you had experiences. Sometimes it's usually one has it and the other one doesn't, and then or vice versa. So that's cool that you all had something that you experienced. Um, so, like Abby, when you're talking about the shows and stuff like that, uh, how do you feel about the shows today? They're on today, and what did you watch in the past, and how different are things 20 years ago today compared to what they are now? Um, John, I'll have you go first.
Um, I mean, I grew up watching like the Taps, the show Taps. Remember that? Um, but I'm not really too much into watching like the television shows, so I couldn't really tell you a whole lot. I watch mostly YouTube a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's kind of my take on that. I couldn't really.
Do you have
Yeah.
to kind of be more careful what you watch on YouTube most of the time? Do you think that some of them are kind of more scams?
Yeah, I'd say so, definitely. Yeah, you kind of. Yeah, I'd say I came across a lot of like cringy ones and like kind of skeptical. Like, okay, is that really what happened? And so I don't know. Yeah, you kind of gotta pick and choose wisely. If you know,
Right, right. How about you, Abby?
So I remember growing up, I always watched A Haunting, even though it was like super dramatized, but I love that they had the interviews with like the actual people. Um, and for a while there, Ghost Adventures.
Oh,
Can't get
oh,
over Zach Bagans.
oh
Uh,
boy.
he makes it hard to get through a little bit. Um, and I know that like for a while there, when Nick from that had his like offshoot show, we watched that for a while. Um, it's sort of funny now to watch um those shows where people are investigating now that we do it because we're kind of like, oh, we know what that device is, or it'd be so cool to get that device, and learning from like that locations we want to go to. So it's kind of interesting. It's sometimes it's an influence, and other times you're like, oh, okay, that probably wouldn't have happened, So it
Right,
kind of keeps you on even ground too about how you want to keep your own content as authentic as possible.
right. Try to be as different. Um,
Right.
I always stretch to be different. Wayne, your idea.
Um, I used to I used to watch Ghost Adventures when I was younger, and I still do a little bit, but for the purely for the entertainment value. Um, but I like Kindred Spirits. Um,
Okay.
I feel like they do a really good job of like making it like realistic and really going for like honest, like authentic evidence.
they're very
Right,
So
detailed. So,
yeah, and very just down to earth, not like trying to stir something up.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, definitely what Abby was saying about um seeing all the devices and like how far they've come with all the different devices and stuff, and like the portal. That's been one on my mind lately that I'm like, oh, we should get that. So um so yeah. I mean, we definitely strive to like stay true to like staying down to earth with what we capture and stuff and making sure it's authentic.
yeah. That's the best way to do it. I mean, and you get a lot of credibility too, and people start to. There's a lot of people out there like to fact checks our stuff, and uh, and see where it leads, and there's been a lot of people that have been caught. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, without a doubt. And I always watch Ghost Hunters. That's for Taps and all that. I watched that, but I kind of really watched Destination Fear, or I should
Oh
say
yeah.
Project Fear now.
mhm.
I watched them a lot. I like them. They're pretty down to earth people as well, but they get kind of funny and goofy and joke around a little bit. But sometimes spirits like that. Would you joke around too? They want to have fun.
Definitely.
Um, so I see no harm in something like that. Uh, Ghost Adventures, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I did watch it when I was younger as well, but I just really could not. I couldn't handle Zach anymore. He was just over the top. He went to school to theatrics, so he has that background of theatrics. And I want to see a show with Aaron by himself or Aaron with another team, and see how.
Aaron,
Yes.
Aaron's the
See,
best.
I think that would be more fun
It'd be
to watch.
interesting.
Yeah, because he's always putting him in the worst, shittiest places.
Yeah,
Because he's too scared to do it himself.
yeah.
So that's kind of where I fall in line with that. But most of the time, YouTube, I do watch some YouTube. I watch your guys' stuff, and there's other people that are out there that I watch as well. I did go on Paraflix for a while, but I'm no longer part of on the Paraflix stuff because it's just, I don't know, it gets old, you know. But again, I like to try and watch, see what different things are out there, and see if someone's doing something different than no one else has done before.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I usually watch, and the locations too as well. I think that's first and foremost is locations.
Hmm.
So let's get into gear. Wayne, what is your favorite piece of gear to use and why?
I mean, we don't get too much with it, but I like using the music box. Mostly because I know when it goes off, it's authentic. Like it, because some other stuff you're like, well, is it going off because we're doing something? But when the music box goes off, like, okay, that never goes off. So when it does, something's in front of it. So, definitely that one. Or I mean, Estes too. So,
Spirit box. Yeah.
yeah.
John, what do you like?
Um, in the beginning when we first started off, my favorite was the REM pod. But I've been really liking the spirit box and using the necrometer, what's it called,
Okay, yeah.
together. Um, and just kind of puzzling that together when we're doing it at the same time. And yeah, I'd say both of those.
Okay. Abby, what do you like using?
Definitely the spirit box, and especially because I feel like there's been so many times where both of the boys will do it and they're getting all this stuff and then I'll do it. I'm like, I can't understand a damn thing. And I'm sitting there. But there has been times where I've been able to pick up things. So that's been really exciting when that has happened. And we're so like you always see that they always have the really nice like Panasonic recorder. Ugh, so desperate for it. We don't have one, but
Oh,
that would
you're
be like
talking
a
about the
dream.
DR60?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get fooled. Don't get sucked in by that.
I know. I know. I had to stay
Good and bad
strong.
about it.
I mean, it's. I don't find that one very attractive at all. Believe it or not.
There's a lot of good and bad. I've heard a lot of good and bad reviews about it.
I
We
think
can't.
maybe the sensitivity is where it excels at. But as far as listening back, it sounds like gobbledygook to me.
Hmm.
That's why I use the Philips voice tracer. I like that one. It's just because I can put wherever I want, and then I can instead of with all the the handling noise because you know how delicate those recorders are.
Hmm.
I can set where I want, and then go into a different room, and then I have my phone. I can press record, and it'll start recording right away. So that's kind of why I like using it, and it's clear. It's clean. Um, I don't know. The DR60, I'm just not a fan of. But I also am a fan of those old style reel to reels.
Oh,
Kind of like, how the Warrens were using.
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah.
Those are a fan of, but you can't hardly find those anymore.
No,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone
using
like
them.
using one now.
Yeah.
That's like with the buttons on it and okay. I know what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, he actually held the microphone as he's walking around and started the thing, and
Yeah.
so. But I mean, I use an old tape cassette. I do that, but I don't use it for EVP sessions because there again, it's really choppy. You can't really understand it. Um, I more or less use it for them to turn it on or turn it off. You know, that's happened a couple times at the museum that they've done that in the attic. So
You gotten some good stuff with the voice tracer?
yeah, I gotten a lot of good stuff with the voice tracer. I got quite a few Class A EVPs. You know, it just picks up really nice and clean and clear. And
wow.
it's nice. It's not that expensive. It's about $100. So I know that the DR60 goes for like $4,000, $5,000.
Insane.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're up there.
that's overkill for me.
Not worth
I
it.
mean, even in task cams, I don't like the task cams. I had one of those, and it was just interference issues.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you're trying to listen back, and all of a sudden it gets all distorted.
Oh.
So, and you think for something like those are $150, and why would you get that issue? You know, shouldn't have that
Right.
issue. But I mean, that's the recorder is one of my favorite ones to use. But I like I said, outside the box is where I live. I like doing different stuff. You saw the Tesla coils.
Yeah.
So those are my big items. I'm more of the science behind more things, more than spiritually. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But everybody changes in time. They'll start out this way, and then they'll change in time into something else. Because I think there's a reflection as you were investigating that something really hit you pretty hard. And Wayne, we all know about that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just kind of how things go these days, and things will change as time goes on. So, what is your opinion about provoking? Abby, let's start with you.
We don't ever do it. Any places we go, we get warnings about it. Don't do it. And we're like, don't have to tell us. We're not interested. I think that there's so many other ways that you can get interaction that don't aggravate. So I feel that it's not something that you need to do. They'll interact if they want to. You'll get what you get from them, and you can't force them to do anything. And I don't know, I just feel that that's pushing a button that you don't know what that button does.
Right. John, what do you think? Do you think there's an appropriate place and appropriate way if you were to provoke?
No. It just kind of it makes you look bad too when you're doing that, and I think it's disrespectful, and you hear all these like horrible stories about people that have done that and things that have happened to them after, and it's not worth it. So yeah, we don't ever do that.
Wayne, same way, same answer.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything good coming out of provoking. So, nothing but bad things. So, and the fact that Zach Bagans and all them do it, I don't. I see it as kind of. I'm like, I don't think we should do that.
Remember, he's 100% possessed all the time.
Stuff is always happening only to him.
2007.
Lori's got a question here. She says, what is the one location you like to go back to often? Whoever wants to take this one.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna have to say Washera County Historical Society, the jail, and Broadhead. We like to go to Broadhead Manor a lot. So
Yeah. I
Wayne?
mean, I think that's the same for me too. I think those are the places that we went back to the most,
mhm.
other than the tannery. But we didn't necessarily like going back there, so lots of negativity at that location.
Very demonic.
Yeah.
Makes me want to go now. Abby.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think those are definitely the places we've been to the most. And yeah, previously the tannery, but I feel like part of that was like something there wants you to keep going back to it. So it's like maybe not.
Broadhead is
Yeah,
awesome.
Broadhead is awesome, Lori says. Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Mhm.
If you're in the chat somewhere listening, we all love Broadhead.
And Bill.
Bill.
And Bill, yes. Bill, Ron. Oh yeah. It's just a blast there.
And the paranormal dogs.
Paranormal dogs. Yeah. So we talk about provoking. We talk about all the stuff that's happened to you guys before. Let's start out with Abby on this one. What scares you the most about the paranormal field, and what do you think you could do to overcome it?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Um, Something that I've found is that sometimes we've gotten stuff on the spirit box where whoever is speaking says my name or something or is talking to me directly. I think the first reaction is to be like, ooh. But in this whole process, like you want that. You want them to interact with you directly. But there
Mm.
definitely is a moment I can think of when we were at the Berlin Tannery and they had set up their haunted house inside of it, and outside of one of the rooms it was all like doll themed. And there was
Oh.
one where like they're like, well, sometimes it moves and all that. And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I'm fine with dolls, but the moving when it shouldn't, I can't deal with that. I'm just gonna pass by it without looking. And on the spirit box, it had said, "Look, Abby," and I was like, no, no. um, and
I'd
there's
say
definitely
punt those
been, I've
suckers.
had more like auditory moments than seeing things, and those it takes me a minute where I'm like, okay.
So it's not too drastic. So,
No.
which sounds good. I mean, sometimes people in the paranormal field, they get scared very easily and then they run away. It's like, okay, why are you doing this if you just run away real fast? We got to run towards it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But
Right.
for those that are on their level of what they can handle, you got to go at that gradually, like she says. You got to just do it gradually, and then eventually get there. John, same question. Hey, Amy.
What I'm most like terrified of,
Yep.
I'd say just encountering like demonic entities and for example at the tannery, like it changed my whole mood and everything for like a week straight, and I even like went to Wayne and we talked about it, and like it did the same thing to Wayne, and I've never encountered like anything like that before. And um yeah, I think that's one thing that I'm kind of afraid of. I've never encountered anything that demonic, and it just it's bad. So it's one thing I'm definitely afraid of, but that was the one time that happened, and thankfully. So yeah.
Okay. Wayne, what are you afraid? What gets you afraid of the paranormal stuff, and how do you feel you can overcome it?
Well, there's definitely. I agree with both John and Abby. the whole negative entity, like demonic stuff. Like John was saying, that what we experienced at the tannery was just, um, it was weird. There was one night we went there and we were we were investigating. I don't think John was with that time, but um, me and the person we were investigating with, we went up the ramp to kind of check out what was going on, and we had the Ovilus and stuff, and we're going up this ramp where this like entity's supposed to be, and you hear this loud bang, and we run down the ramp, like back down the ramp, and like look at each other, and like I I was so angry, and I never get angry like that. Like it is so hard to get that out of me. Um, but I looked at him, and we met him for breakfast the next day. But after we went down the ramp, we were getting our stuff. We're like, okay, we're gonna leave for the night. This was after the haunted house, and I got my hair pulled, the back of my hair yanked, and I whipped around and I looked at him, and like I was like, the next morning at breakfast, I said, can I just tell you that I almost wanted to like punch you in the face. That's like I was so angry at you, and I don't know why. And he's like, yeah, he said I wanted to do the same thing, and he said I don't know what happened, but yeah. And ever since then, I'm like, oh, I'm good on that place. I don't think we need to go back there again.
Lori says, and
Yeah,
holding
definitely
knives.
don't do that either.
Right, Wayne?
Yeah, don't hold them.
No.
That was interesting.
That was right up there.
That was like in a way, we talk about a state of possession. Now, do you all know the three things of being possessed, right? And what the science for to watch?
I mean, you could probably guess.
Oppression.
Yep.
Uh, uh, God, there's two more. I know oppression. That's the one I know. And
Yeah,
possession.
oppression's the first one. Yeah. Obsession and then possession.
Mm.
And the thing is that night with Wayne, and we could each talk a little bit about possession and stuff like that, and what your feelings are about it. That night in particular with Wayne, when Abby was not along with you guys, that was interesting because I was actually not there. I was home, and I was watching it on live. Yeah. So you want to talk about that, Wayne?
Yeah, sure. It was definitely, I don't know, holding it was just, I was like, oh, it's just a knife. It's no big deal. And kind of was like, okay. And then once like the cabinet opened, you just felt this rush of cold air. And I held it, and all of a sudden my chest started getting hot. My um, my legs started going. My breathing changed. Um, I found out when I got home that night. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I had two scratches across my chest,
Oh, really?
and I had a shirt and a sweatshirt on, so it for sure wasn't me.
Got pictures of
And
that.
Oh.
yeah, I think that's the first time I had to leave, and I think that was the first time I ever like cried.
Wow.
During like an investigation like that. I don't think I've ever like my emotion never like got to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was intense.
Bill has joined the chat room with us. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, that was interesting. Just the way how things got and then you broke away from live,
Well,
and then I what's that?
not to mention when like a couple minutes before ending live when we were walking out the door, you hear like a
Yeah.
scream right behind me. Um, yeah, that was surreal.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
voice. Yeah, we had to turn the TV all the way up to hear it, and it said he heard me.
That's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was, and hearing that after the fact was crazy. Like we
yeah.
didn't hear it until we went through and checked it
Mm.
out.
And the thing is too is that it's like I don't know if that's the first time that you kind of lost it, because I know it's like I had to wait about 10 minutes till I get a hold of it. And it's like, hey, you okay? You okay? And it's like, I think Abby was trying to get a hold of you as well, and it's like, yeah, you were first time. Like I think you were bawling because it really was emotional for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. When
No,
when it's emotional, it's emotional.
yeah.
Uh, that's how it goes. So,
It was once I
um,
got out of that area, I was fine. Like
yeah,
it was like a breath of fresh air, literally. But it got me.
yeah, it does. It will. And then the second time around, when Abby was with us, or with you guys, I should say, and then I was in there when that was all going on. It was interesting because you're like, oh, I want to hold it. I want to hold it. Like
Yeah,
you were desperately wanting to hold it, but then, you know, hey, Kelly. And she's like, no, you're not holding it.
yeah, I know.
Well, and
She
I
was
remember,
firm on that.
Close the
I
cabinet.
I remember seeing I'm watching the live from home. They're both there. I can tell, like, I'm watching him. I can tell he's starting to be weird. And then, he's got to get out of there. And then John, like, pauses the live. And I'm like, hello? My husband. So I try calling him. I don't get him. I'm like, oh. But I finally got to talk to him. I'm like, are you good? Is everything fine? He's like, well, it's better now. I'm like, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
fine a little bit, just
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that night that when I was there, uh, after the jail part, I noticed that you were breathing differently then, and
Yeah,
then things are weird for a while. I don't know how, maybe an hour, 2 hours. Would you say he was? I think you were a little out there, like not sure of yourself in a way.
yeah. I even like the nausea was bad too. I got real nauseous back there. Well, then once I left that area, the nausea just went away.
Yeah.
So it's definitely weird.
Right.
I was
Right.
getting headaches over there too, in that area. But right when I leave, it just would stop.
Right. Well, it's a
Yeah,
heavy based area.
yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of stuff has gone on in that area between the downstairs and upstairs. So it hits a lot of people in many different ways. Very unpredictable sometimes, but
When it
uh,
blew my mind because when I did hold it, the whole time I'm holding it, I'm like, I want to drop it. I don't want to hold it. Like, I'm holding it, but I don't want to be. I want to drop it. Like, it was just a feeling of like, this shouldn't be happening. I don't want to. And that was the complete opposite from what you were experiencing with it.
which is
yeah,
crazy because
Interesting.
the fact that you didn't wanted nothing to do with it, and then I wanted to hold it more.
yeah,
But despite everything, it it made me feel. It's just yeah, that's crazy.
right. And I think your Abby, your chest was hurting the whole time until you put it back and then it stopped. Correct?
Yep. Just all like tightness and like, ugh, just a very uncomfortable, tight feeling. And just, you feel kind of, it's almost like a walls closing in feeling. And that's why you're like, I just want to get rid of this. I just want to be done.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I haven't held it since the first time I held it, and I was like, I got weird on a live too. So, while we're talking about the jail, Do you want to talk about the upstairs part with the German soldier and how all that transpired, how that went for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, um, when we were there last, we had Abby go up there by herself. Um, she didn't really get too much. The REM pod went off a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, Abby, how you felt when you were there alone, sitting in the cell.
Yeah, it was kind of a funny thing because there had been all this, buildup of like, oh, maybe something will happen if I'm, here by myself. And there was definitely like a moment where not too long after I started sitting in there was just one moment where the REM pod went off once, as if like he had been in there, saw it was me, and he was like, nope, and immediately left. Because then nothing else happened. So I feel like it was like, a woman? No.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, then we all decided to go back, and Wayne went under Estes, and we got a couple things. We were gonna bring this up to you. You know how on the jail cell it says Walt?
Yep.
Um, what is that all about? I guess what's like the backstory on that name?
Yeah,
So
Is
Walt is the pervert up there.
okay,
So he likes to go after the women a lot. So
okay,
as a German soldier, mainly likes to push women down the stairs.
oh,
But there was another team that was there. Paranormal Paradox was there, and they had one of their females up there with them, and she had it popped her bra open. It was a front clasp bra, and I guess she had a sweatshirt on, and it popped underneath her sweatshirt.
And those are
So
tough.
they're like, okay, so that's kind of the reason why I was telling Wayne to bring a bra and to see
yeah,
if it popped the latch on the bra. So
okay.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
we,
remember
we
when we were over there and starting to use like the necrometer and kind of trying to talk more to Walt.
mhm.
Over it, I remember because I was like, okay, it's not like it's kind of talking just to John. It's really answering his questions. And I guess I asked something and it said like broad, like called me a broad. I was like, okay, well, I'll just listen now.
and then
This will
Walt
be
came
more fun to
through.
talk to you guys.
Yeah, then Walt came through the spirit box when Wayne was under. So, and we're like, oh, we gotta ask Darren about the name Walt.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. And Lori was just talking about Job, which is in that first cell. As you walk into your left, he likes to watch. He's the one that messes a lot with the flashlights, the REM pods, stuff like that. And wherever you put the flashlight, he would go play with them. So, and that's a lot of fun. Peaks, yeah. But there's just a lot of stuff. It's kind of like a hot spot there in that location too. There's several other hot spots in that location, but that is one of them. And we get a lot of stuff up there every once in a while.
The music box was big in there.
Yeah.
Like on the outside, the outskirts of the cells,
Mm-hmm.
it was going off like crazy. And that thing never goes off. That's why I like using that thing.
Right.
right.
So let's get into some paranormal experiments. Is there anything that you guys want to try, or you have tried and you liked it, and you want to keep using it? Let's start off with John first.
I guess we haven't tried this. While I don't know if so, one of us would like go under the spirit box, and then you'd put like a red light, like you'd cover someone's eyes with something like a white sheet or something, then you put like a red light over it. I guess that kind of I don't know that I've seen other groups do that, and I guess I don't know like the whole backstory about doing that, but I think it kind of puts you more in a trance.
Hmm.
I believe.
Kind of like the
Um,
Delco experiment.
I think yeah.
The goggles.
So I've been wanting to kind of try that. But yeah.
Okay. Wayne.
Um, there are a couple. Um, but I've heard a lot about like the mirror scrying, like looking
Mm-hmm.
into the mirror, and I would definitely want to try that. Um, and then there's the one with the like the water tank where you put the salt in it
Oh,
and
water
you kind of like
deprivation.
float. Yeah, and you kind of float and you have like the spirit box going or something like that, and just kind of dulls your senses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely those. Those sound pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I think that one was on 28 Days Haunted. I believe Shane Pittman did that one.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, that's a different, definitely a different kind of experiment that I would like to try something like that. But then again, I don't know if I can handle it.
Mhm.
That's just one of those things. Because I hate water going to my ears.
Oh yeah.
Same.
So, Abby, is there any experiments you want to try or you like doing and want to keep doing?
I think we did try once to do kind of like a double Estes with 2 spirit boxes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to kind of give that more thought and work on that more. Not necessarily an experiment, but I'd love to one of these times for a full investigation have like a medium with us or somebody like that just to kind of see. It would just be another facet to experiment with and try. Um, when we were way back when we did Carol, we did have someone with us. And that was kind of interesting, but I would just be curious just to see what would come of it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen double Estes being done. Paranormal Exposures does it, a lot of it. I don't know if you guys know who Paranormal Exposures is, but definitely check them out. They do a lot of cool stuff like that. I've seen it done at firsthand at Edinburgh Manor, so it's interesting. I can tell you that it's very interesting. They both give off different answers, so that's the thing. You don't get the same answer from the same person, which is good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah, that'd be interesting to try that and see how you guys do about that. Let's see. Sorry about that. It's a long day.
I have a question for you, Darren.
Sure, fire away.
What's I guess your dream like location to investigate?
Oh, dream location. See, I'm a big Amityville horror type of guy. I want to investigate the Amityville horror house. I would love to stay there for like a few months. Um,
Wow.
but I also want to try and go to Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be fantastic to go in that location. Those are one of my two that I really want to get to. But my favorite location, obviously, jail, and Malvern Manor. Malvern Manor. If you have not been there, you need to go.
In Iowa?
Yep, it's in Iowa, Malvern, Iowa.
We were just
It's
looking at
way across the state.
Yeah.
You're about 45 minutes away from Nebraska. But it is a fantastic location. Josh Hurd is the guy you need to get a hold of to get there. But man, you would fall in love with that place as well. And if you go there, obviously you got to go to the Villisca Axe Murder House because those two are tied together.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely one of mine.
But now the Villisca Axe Murder House, that one there is can be a little more problematic to women in general because of the sensitivity of the sensitive issue. I don't know if you guys ever seen Amy's Crypt on YouTube or not.
No.
But she never cries at any of these locations. But when she got to Villisca, she lost it around 2:00 in the afternoon or in the morning. So For her to cry like that at a location, it must took a lot,
Yeah.
So, and I've heard other people. There's been a guy that tried to actually stab himself there once before, try to kill himself. He is a paranormal investigator.
Jeez.
Wow.
So the house can take hold of you.
Wow.
But what about you guys' dream locations? Where would you like to go to?
Well, that was one of mine, but I'm rethinking it.
Indiana State Sanatorium.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's my top.
I'd say probably
Wow.
Trans-Alleghenies up there.
Yeah.
But definitely Waverly Hills.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
big.
that would be a good spot too. Be a good
Agreed.
spot. I definitely want to try and lay in one of those morgue tables and get pushed in and see how that goes.
God.
Interesting.
I can tell you how that'd go for me, not well.
Is it still pretty hard to get into that place?
Which one?
Waverly?
Waverly? No, I heard it's back open now,
Oh,
but it's a little expensive, just like Missouri State Penitentiary. 1,500 for 8 hours, I believe it is.
jeez. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of those places are very expensive. Like, I know that Trans-Allegheny is 1,800 for 12 hours, I think.
Jeez.
It gets a little crazy. I'd tell you, I'm not sure what Indiana State Sanatorium is. I want to say it's like 1,000 to do that one.
It's like around 1,000.
Yeah, that's not too bad when you're splitting it up with like a big, it's a big enough place to have 10 people to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
So, I mean, $100 a person, that would be perfect. It's kind of like the same concept as going to Sheboygan Asylum.
Right,
So,
right.
But other than that, I mean, yeah, those are decent locations.
Maybe we'll have to plan something.
Yeah,
Road
that'd be
trip
pretty
there.
cool.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
definitely.
Let's see, we got 8 minutes to the top of the hour. So what do you guys got coming up in a few months? And is there anything that you want to promote coming up?
We were planning on going up to the convent. I don't know if you've ever heard of.
In Jericho?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jericho.
Yeah.
We've been there once, but it was during like a blizzard, like a storm, so it wasn't the best. But yeah, we're gonna plan on going back up there. We have another YouTube video coming out on the old 1850 schoolhouse mostly, and then a little bit about the Washington County Jail. So that'll be probably coming out in the next like month or so.
Okay.
So stay tuned on that. Got some cool stuff in there, and
Discussing Whispered Estate.
mhm.
We're thinking about that.
So,
A lot of these places, the weekends are already all sold out on them, so it's hard finding one that works for everybody. So we're still kind of looking there. But the convent and Glen Beulah are pretty open.
yeah.
That'll probably be our next destination.
Okay. Well, you never know. You might be able to join us at Glen Beulah, because I think that's one of the locations that they wanted to hit next on a paranormal weekend.
Sweet.
We kind of talked about it, but I have not been there yet either. So
That'd be cool.
yeah, that would be pretty cool for all of us to be together and do an investigation.
Oh yeah, we love that.
Now there's one that it kind of sits in my mind a little bit, and I was going to bring this up earlier. Cemeteries. How do you guys feel about investigating cemeteries and doing cemetery walks? Do you feel that those are negative? Do you feel that they're misinterpreted as being haunted and not really haunted? What is your opinions on those?
Uh, I mean, we've only done that once. I think it was just Wayne and I. We walked through, or I don't know if Abby were you there. It was during the no. We did that once. We didn't really get too much, and I don't think that's really our kind of thing to do. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any opinions on that, but
It wasn't like a when we did it. It wasn't like a super serious thing. Like we had like this app that we downloaded and we kind of just went through.
yeah.
But I would definitely. There's one in the Dells that they take you through on like the tour.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely would go back there just to kind of see. I think it was where Belle Boyd, is that her name? She was like a spy or something like that, but she's buried in
Mm,
that cemetery.
Okay.
Um, so I definitely would like to try to like go through that and just see if that brings anything, like any evidence or anything.
Right.
I've never
Right.
done it, but I'm open to it.
Abby?
Yeah, I feel like the same. I mean, I'd definitely be willing to check it out. Um while being respectful, of course, and something that kind of whenever the boys are out together, they just drive past like a house that's a little creepy looking or a building that's a little abandoned, like, "Ugh, it's probably haunted." So, I mean,
That's
I feel
funny.
like they'd try anything at this
yeah.
point.
Well, I mean, and why not? I mean, of course, that's urban exploitation. You gotta be definitely careful about that and make sure you get approval to go in there when you do stuff like that.
Mm,
Um, but cemeteries are okay. It all depends for me. The one here in town in Oshkosh is haunted. Is what they say. That is one per se. I wish we could walk through at night, but we can't. In the state of Wisconsin, we can't go into cemeteries at night. I know other states it does not affect or have any issues with that, and they don't care. There is the Whitewash Trail that's also behind it that is supposed to be haunted. So there's a few things. I mean, if you guys want to feel like coming up here this way, we can roam out that way, and because I know the trail is open till 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and then try your hands on that, and if you want to do that,
yeah,
Another thing
definitely.
that kind of caught my attention was like Beast of Bray Road and
that's
like
another
all
location.
Witch Road
Mm,
and Ripon, like all those kind of
Kind of
folklore and
urban
stories.
legends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always just kind of got me interested. And
Er,
Hog's
the
back.
Appalachia stuff I've been hearing, like about the Appalachian Mountains.
yep.
That stuff's been kind of on my. I've been binge watching all those videos and stuff. So
Urban legends are fun. Definitely fun to do. We did one in Stevens Point, the Boy Scout Lane. I don't know if you heard of that one.
yeah,
Mm,
Oh, that's a good one. I think that's actually the first time I ever set up a laser grid outside into the trees.
Oh.
wow,
Um, that was interesting, and I had the amplified headphones on, so I could hear everything around me.
mm,
It just sounded like little kids are just running in the woods back and forth on both sides. It was creepy. It
That's
was creepy. I think
crazy.
we spent about an hour down there. We all had to leave because we were all freaked out.
is that the one where like supposedly the lantern caught something on fire? Is that what I'm thinking of? Supposed.
Um, well, that's where the school bus got in an accident, I think.
Oh, okay, that's what. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's the school bus driver, the leader, and then I think 12 kids. I think all died. So, um, but yeah, urban legends are a lot of fun because I like to separate investigating and then go doing urban legends. I think that's a
Yeah.
great way to break things up a little bit. Um, you know,
Maybe we all do an urban legends episode together.
yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So, other than that, you guys, anything else you would like to talk about at all? What's on your minds? Free open floor. Anybody got any questions in the chat?
Yeah, we just appreciate you having us on. This was so much fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we could do a part 2 and definitely get you guys back on and more experiences and stuff like that. Because I know you're in the Milwaukee area. I know Dahmer is big in that area. But I don't know, is that much investigated much down there?
The ambassador.
Yeah, definitely the ambassador, but like his apartment building is demolished, so like that's not, that's
Right.
been made into something now. But yeah, the ambassador I've heard a lot about.
Okay. I think it's like 700 is his room number or something like that. I could be wrong.
717, I think, right? I don't know. That sounds familiar to me. I think it's like 717 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of crazy things happening down in Milwaukee lately. I mean, you've heard about the guy that was at the rave, bartender or whatever it was, and then all these college boys missing, and there's like 20 college kids missing, and finding them in the in the lake. Found a lady hacked up and severed and found legs in different areas.
Jeez. When was
What
this?
is it? Huh?
When was this?
Not too long ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sade Robinson.
Yeah. I mean, what is going on? What's with the water in Milwaukee?
Yeah, right?
There's always been something wrong with it, apparently.
Another place, though, the rave would be a good one to investigate.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge building.
The swimming pool area.
I suppose, yeah. Brumner Mansion. I know you guys have done that one. I haven't done that one yet.
That place is great.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back.
The Pfister is another. I went into the Pfister because I've always wanted to step foot in there, and I heard a lot of good stuff about it. I think floors 3 and 6 are the two that are haunted.
Mm-hmm.
I did escalate it. If I said, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" and she's like, "Yes, I do." That says, "How easy is it to investigate this location?" Well, you got a lot of money to pay for all those rooms that you're going to be blocking off. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. Thanks.
Right.
I feel like when we go places like that and you try to like ask someone there, like, "Oh, I've heard you've had paranormal stuff." There's either places where like, "Nope, never happened, never heard of it, don't want to talk about it," and other places are like, "Let me tell you everything."
The rent law.
Yeah, I called them like, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" And they're like, "No reports." I'm like, "You're full of it."
Yeah, 7th floor.
Yeah.
Yep. I tried to do that as well. I did get into a conversation with the lady. She says, "Yes, we know what's going on up there, but in order to sleep up there, you have to like make a reservation, like if you're part of a party or something like that, in order to select the floor that you want."
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens. A lot of people don't want to say stuff, and I get it business wise. I think it does hurt businesses depending on what the business is. And others, I think they need to embrace it.
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot more to bring more people in. But other than that, I think this is a great episode tonight, guys. I do like to have my guest leave the audience in the chat with a special message of encouragement of how you feel about about the paranormal field itself, and how do you just leave a great message and say what you want to say. Wayne, you go ahead first.
Good thing about it is there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to be explored, and definitely worth the exploration. That's for sure.
Yep. Brings people together.
Absolutely. Abby?
And I would say, not losing sight of the reason you're doing it. I mean, most are doing it because they're interested in it and they want to know what they can learn about it and wanting to know more history and feeling more connected to places. So I feel like among everything, not losing sight of that and really getting to know the places you're going is a good sign.
Definitely.
Absolutely. All great, wonderful stuff. Thank you guys for being on. I also want to do a shout out to an event coming up in July of 19th and 20th at the Westchester County Historical Museum. The Phantasm Paranormal group is hosting an event, tours, guided tours. So if you feel like you want to know what it's like to investigate a jail, come on down for the 19th and 20th and investigate with the Phantasm Paranormal group. And, the food and, refreshments will be available. And it goes from 5:30 to 2 a.m. And definitely come on down. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It'd be $45 a person to do that. Donated money. And all proceeds go to the 1850 Schoolhouse Project. And so that's where all the money goes to. So other than that, I thank you all for joining us. Welcome to the Paranormal Question of the Day. If you have not known what the show is, and you are on the Paranormal Brew and BB3 TV networks as well. If you don't have Facebook, please join us on the Phantasm Paranormal YouTube channel, Phantasm WIS. So for myself, Darren, Wayne, John, and Abby, Small Town Paranormal, thank you all for tuning in tonight. So long, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you. See ya.